Hi everybody, welcome back to Arma 3 and welcome to NAM and welcome to the AC119 Gunship that is now available with the Savage Games Design's Nickel Steel mod on Steam. This is a way that the Savage team are going to be able to bring us really high quality assets, Vietnam themed, that we can use with Prairie Fire and obviously any other bits of Arma 3 that we want to. But they've decided to do it as a separate mod to Prairie Fire, the CDLC, because it's quicker for them to be able to do this. It's totally free. Subscribe to it, and as I say, the first part of the mod, which will have a lot more added to it as time goes on, is the AC119, which is the gunship, and the C119, which is the sort of the bomber and the cargo plane variant, and also some water buffalo. Now, I didn't know about this aircraft, and I've read and watched a lot of things about the Vietnam War, and I just knew about the spooky gunship, which was the one that was based around the Dakota, and of course the AC-130 gunship, which is the one based around the Hercules, you know, like the Spectre that we know here. But this one was used an awful lot because there wasn't enough AC-130 airframes to turn them into gunships. And so what we have on the side is we have kind of like a gunner's position here. So that's what we're going to be in when we actually use this, which has got like this night vision scope, I guess like a Starlight scope on it there. And then we have the miniguns. So we've got these bigger miniguns, and then we've got these other miniguns, and we can fire them all together or in pairs. Very, very exciting indeed, and that's a big spotlight that we can turn on as well. Now, what's even more exciting is that you can operate this thing solo. So what we're going to do is we're at the Pleiku Air Base, as you can see here, on Cam Lan now. I hope I've got that right. And what there is, there's some enemies in Cu Chi, or Su Chi, the place of the tunnels down here. So what we're going to do, we're going to get this thing in the air, and then we're going to kind of do a practice orbit around Da Nang where there's no enemy forces. So I'm going to kind of show you kind of what it does, and then what we'll do is we'll go over and you'll see it in operation about Cu Chi or Su Chi, Cu Chi, and yeah, I'll show you how you can put it into an automatic orbit, and then how you can use night vision and how you can change its the orbit on the fly. So it's very, very good. So kind of everything is just like normal Arma aircraft. So left shift to throttle up. So she's going to start. It's got a really cool startup sequence. Remember these? They came out just after the Second World War. This is, I think, it's called the Flying Boxcar. I mean, look how beautiful this model is. And so these would have been the same engines that were used, I guess, on World War II bombers. And in fact, one of the problems they had with them, with these aircraft, is that they were pretty old. So we go to full throttle with left shift. We're going to get ready to rotate with S, and then we're going to press G to bring the gear up. We'll get her in the air, and look at the detail. How amazing! This is one of the things the Savage guys have said. You know, they're going to make sure that this is really, really top quality models they're going to be bringing into Arma 3. Okay, so let's get up to about 225 kilometers an hour. Let's rotate. G to bring the gear up. And we are on this lovely afternoon in Vietnam, out for a lovely fly. Okay, so what we can do now is if we have a quick look at the map. So there's Da Nang there. If we come over, just roll a little bit. Are we going over it right now? Yeah, so we're going over Da Nang. So what we can do is if you just use your mouse wheel to scroll down, your selector wheel, we can go down to, keep going down, start orbit autopilot. So we just click that, and now automatically the aircraft goes into a left-hand bank of about 30 degrees. So all the guns, obviously, they're on the left-hand side. The idea being that you're with this gunship, you're supplying close air support, and they're incredibly useful at this sort of thing. Because obviously, in the Vietnam War, the NVA and the VC, they didn't have any surface-to-air missiles. Well, not in South Vietnam, or well, actually, I don't know. They might have had some. I know, but they didn't have it. It's not like they could shoot them down with Stinger missiles or anything like that. Lots of anti-aircraft fire, and obviously they lost them to that. So we're in this automatic orbit now. And what we can do is, if we roll down on our mouse wheel, you can see we've got change orbit autopilot, stop autopilot as well. We could do and searchlight on if it was night. Now what we can do now is if we simply press enter to go to first person, we then go over to that gunner's seat we talked about. Yeah. In fact, let me just press double click Alt, and you see. And the idea is that there is a mechanical link between what I'm moving around now and the guns that are further down the body of the aircraft. So wherever I'm aiming, that is where the bullets will go. Now, also, if I then right-click to aim down sight, we actually transfer over to the video feed. Now, I'm not quite sure exactly how this works, but there is a commander seat in the cockpit that you can sit in. I think this is the idea that the commander would look through this, and he would be in contact with the ground forces, who would be saying, "Yeah, good, effective fire right 100 meters," and so he would be telling us. So we're in this position here. If we just press N, we can turn on night vision. Obviously, we're during the day, so we can't see anything. But when we go over the other place, you'll be able to see that. Then if we press F, we can go between the different things. So here we go. So we've got 20 mil. If you look in the top right corner, you see we've got Gal 4 twin cannon, and then so we can have. Let's go back. So we can have 3 or we can have 5 on, and then we go to the miniguns. So we can have 3 or we can have all of them on, and then we have the searchlight, and also you can fire flares as well, he says, but I can't see them, so we won't worry about that for now. And the idea with the flares is you can kick them out of the back, and they would then supply you with like daylight illumination at night, but in a way whereby you weren't attracting as much attention to the gunship. Because you can imagine with the gunship, if we were if we have the spotlight on, it's kind of a direct target for people to fire at. So what we can do now is if we go back to here, we can see as we're just nicely flying around, and then if we go to first person and right click, so now what we do, we can just let's just fire the gun. So we can just now left click and we can fire. Now there's 2 crosshairs. The crosshair on the right is the one where the bullets are probably going to land. Okay. Now what you'll probably notice straight away from this is we're pretty high up, and it's very difficult to identify smaller targets, especially infantry targets when you're up this high. So this is where you're going to be really relying on someone on the ground adjusting your fire, saying, okay, north 20 meters, north 100 meters, to the right of the end of the village, by the edge, by the north side of the river, that sort of thing, so that you can do that way. Okay, so what we're going to do now, so we kind of fly around, so let's have a go at adjusting the orbit. And what we can actually do is if we go down to change orbit autopilot, click on that, and then we can use our mouse wheel to zoom out. We've actually got the whole map here, so you can see there's me flying around, and there's there. So what we could do is we can now set a new orbit. So let's say we wanted to orbit over the Pleku Air Base. You just click there and click and hold, and if you drag down, you can make the orbit bigger. You've got kind of a minimum size, which is that size, and then you can kind of go that. Now what we do, if we just let go of that and say set new orbit, what will happen is the plane will just gradually make its way over there anyway, under its own control. So under full autopilot, you'll see as we go round, it will come out of this orbit. Here we go, and we're going to start heading over to the airfield to start orbiting around the airfield, which is pretty cool as well, isn't it? So you don't even have to worry about flying this thing. It's just going to go from one orbit to the next. So you can go from one close air support mission to the next, as long as you've got enough bullets and enough fuel. So what we'll do now is let me just pause, and let's turn it to night time. So that you can kind of see the night vision working, and we'll go over to Coochie. Right, here we go. So it's going to night time, isn't it? So now let's bring up the change orbit autopilot, and let's go over to where the bad guys are, which is here. So let's set our center there, and we'll go with the minimum orbit. We'll say set new orbit. In fact, tell you what, let's put our searchlight on as well, so you can see the searchlight. So you can kind of see sort of there. But now if I press N to bring the... if I now aim down sight with right click and press N to bring the night vision up, you can really start to see what's going on. Now, we're heading towards the area. So what's going to happen is, as you can see, the plane's going to sort of come here. They're going to take up the orbit. There we go. See it turning to do the orbit? Right, here we go. So what we should see in a minute... Okay, it's a bit dark. Hopefully, if we start firing at them, they might start firing back at us. So let's just change to the miniguns. And in this area, there's various enemies that I've spawned. Oh, sorry, I think they did up there. Oh, here we go. Right, they're firing back at us now. Let's kick the hornet's nest. Here we go. The old blue trace is coming back up at us. Now, the enemies that are down there are infantry enemies, and there's some vehicles, but there's no anti-aircraft because I didn't want to get shot down while I was showing you this video. So again, in a real scenario, if you were taking people... oh, actually, no, we've been hit. Oh, mayday, 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 mayday. We're going down. We took some ground fire there, didn't we? So let's just restart there. So, as you see, we did take some effective ground fire then, and we, in fact, did get shot down. So let's get back onto the ship, as we say. And let's have a look at those things again. Right. Here we go. So here we are. So we're in the cockpit. I don't think we can turn on... Oh, we can start on the autopilot now. Yes, autopilot can only be activated above an altitude of 100 meters. So let's fire up. So there we go. So that was a bit of a warning there. Don't kick the hornet's nest if you know that they're just going to be firing at you and nobody else, because you're going to end up getting shot down. Right, let's get up into the air and let's have another play around. And what we'll do, we'll probably orbit over a safe area. G for gear up. God, this is amazing. Look at this. It's amazing. Arma 3 is still absolutely amazing, isn't it? Prairie fire is unbelievable. There we go. Right. Let's bring up the map. So we're coming up to Da Nang now. So let's start the autopilot, and then let's just go into change the orbit autopilot. Let's put the center as in the center of Da Nang there. Let's say set new orbit, and then the plane will adjust accordingly. So it's going to fly out to there. I'm going to start going round, and then I think the flares may well be bugged at the moment because I can't... They're there to start off with, but then I can't select them. So that might be a little bit of a bug that is happening. So let's quickly change to nighttime. I say quickly. There we are. Oh wow! Look at this. We've got a moon. The moon is... I mean, how fantastic does this look? OMG. That looks amazing, doesn't it? So again, so we're in the gunner's position. So perhaps I should have said, as soon as you turn the autopilot on, you kind of move to the gunner's position. So you're already here. and then we can aim down sights. That gets us into the video camera, and then it's N to bring up the night vision, and then you can bring the pane. How brilliant is that? Absolutely fantastic. So immersive. I can't wait to see what mission planners come and do with this. It is brilliant. It's not quite. It doesn't do it justice, really, I don't think. And then let's. Oh, we don't want that, do we? Back in the daytime. Let's turn the stop the autopilot, and there we go. Now, what I have noticed is when you go back to being in the pilot seat, your throttle will be down at 30%. So you may well want to make sure you throttle up, so you don't start losing too much height or anything like that. Right, so there we go, my friends. That is how you use the new AC119 Gunship from the new Savage Game Designs Nickel Steel mod. I remember, this mod isn't just about this. Looks a bit like Thunderbird 2, actually, doesn't it? Isn't just about this aircraft. More and more things will be added, and included right now is also the cargo and the bomber variants of this aircraft as well. I understand that it can carry vehicles and a really, really, really big bomb as well. Anyway, that's enough from me. Remember, you've got, in Arma 3, we've got auto landing as well, haven't we? On here as well, I think somewhere. Anyway, that's a subject for another video. Hope you found the video useful. If you have it, like, you want to see more of the same, press subscribe, and I will of course see you again soon.